Welcome to a Transformers Energon review. This time I'm looking at one of my favorite and one of the most weirdest Transformers to have been created in my opinion, and that is Saber. Now, this is his vehicle mode, which I believe is supposed to be kind of like a Cybertronian bomber. I mean, it kind of looks like the stealth bomber that we have, but just, Cybertronian. But who knows for sure, because this is weird looking. It has landing gear. One thing in the front and two sets of wheels in the back here and here. And without that, he'd pretty much just flop around everywhere. And with this, I mean, it's huge. Probably maybe about 14 inches long. I'm very professional. I wish I had a tape measure right here with me. But transforming him into this vehicle mode is so weird that, I mean, it's very simple looking, but it's kind of left to interpretation of how to transform because you don't really have real world reference to go by. So I mean, I had to look at pictures of this online to get a refreshment on how he looks, and this is it. There's not a whole lot to it. You can flip up the landing gear, and like you see, he just kind of flops around without it. And he has two missiles in the front, and got these other guns here on the side, which do not fire, but this is the way it's supposed to look. But you can also swing it around to have bigger guns in the sides, but these can also be used as guns. So he's pretty heavily armed. Got Autobot symbols here on the top. Everything looks weird, but he has his engines here in the back. You can pretty much see the robot chest right there. Yeah, I mean, for what it is, I like it. It's interesting, that's for sure. I mean, I like kind of weird vehicle modes such as this very Cybertronian jet modes. I really dig those. So, yep, that's him. Get him into robot mode. The transformation is actually fairly simple. We're going to go to the back of him and just kind of detach the legs here, and they will swing down. They're attached to the arms through this peg, and I'm going to need to rotate the legs around, fold the gun back, rotate the foot around, bring up these hip pieces, do the same thing this side. A lot of creaking going on this figure. This is one chunky piece of plastic. Okay, take this whole backpack section and fold it down, fold out the arms, rotate that in, and weirdest part of the transformation, rotate the head pieces together, and there you go. Articulation for this guy is pretty shitty. He has no head articulation, no shoulder articulation, little tiny elbow, wrist swivel, no waist, a little bit of a hip movement, but it's pretty much pointless. And if you want to get real technical, he has some foot articulation. So what you're looking at is pretty much the extent of his posability. But I can really understand why they couldn't do some of the articulation, especially in the head. I mean, that would be really tricky if they could have pulled a head joint there. And shoulders, I can kind of forgive just the way they all transform, but really, it still looks really nice. It doesn't look too much like a Transformer. It almost looks like something from the Brave series, which I'm not I don't have too much knowledge of it, but I mean, it looks very similar to some of the toys I've seen from Brave before. Yep. And if you really, he has no weapons, but you can flip forward these cannons if you really want to, and have him shoot missiles from his knees. Yeah. I do not believe there's a way to actually attach them onto his hands. Yeah. I don't think so. There's no handles on them. Nope. Sure aren't. Maybe should have done a little bit more research in that department. But, yep. But this is a gimmick figure because he can combine with Energon Optimus Prime. To really prepare Optimus Prime for a combination, we're just going to have to kind of put him in the same position we would if we were combining him with his trailer parts. So just fling up the... I'm going to leave this piece closed for now, but that's basically all you have to do. Set him off to the side. Now, he actually has two forms, combination forms. And they're all basically the same. I mean, as far as like just different arrangements, they're not the same. He has a flight mode and kind of a combat mode, I guess called. But they all start the same way, as I think I was trying to say. Take off the legs, which is really tight. Take off the legs. I'll sit them off to the side and pop, split them in half. And I'm going to do the flight one first. Going to fold these head pieces back. Rotate this red clear piece to reveal combined mode's head. Rotate this piece out and rotate that in. See, that's one arm. Do the same thing to this side. You can see on this side he has this combination spark there. And you leave the legs exactly like that. So, then just plug Brian's legs in. Like so. Go to the top. Plug in the arms. And open up the chest. I always like to kind of make that the last move anyway. And there's Optimus in flight mode, which is huge. I mean, I really like the way that it was pulled off in Galaxy Force / Cybertron better, just because maybe I like the toys better. I mean, this doesn't look half bad, though it's very top heavy with these wing sections here. And I find myself always constantly having to reposition his waist just so he doesn't topple over like he almost did. You can straighten out the legs a little bit more, but he always will have kind of a gangsta lean there, so just kind of snap them up a little bit. So yeah, he's just dying to fall over. But like I said, he has one other combination. I turned his fist the wrong way. Like it's supposed to be like that. Articulation, I mean, typical. It's no better, no worse than the super mode of Energon Optimus Prime. I did something funky here. Yeah, it's supposed to be like this. Yeah. So, what did I do wrong on this side? There we go. Yep, my mistake. So, get him into his flight mode. To start off the transformation for the combination mode of combat armor, maybe, I forget what it's really called. These would normally come to the arms. These will be the legs. This is going to be swapped around. These will become the arms, and this will become the left arm. Rotate this piece out. Form cannons. Extend and rotate this around, you'll see fingers there. You can bring those out and rotate the projectile out, and that's that. Do the exact same thing on this side, like that. The legs are a little bit trickier this time. This one is really weird. I'm going to take this piece and gotta fold it all the way out for now. Fold this piece out and this piece down. Rotate this piece over it. Which, oh, I have to rotate this hand around, I believe, yep. And you can either leave the robot hand extend like that or curl it up. I believe it's supposed to be like this. And that's a leg. Do the exact same thing on this side. Like so. You're ready to combine them. Oh, you gotta rotate the robot head pieces in. And form the legs. These will form the arms. And open up the chest. And there you go. And I really do like the way this looks. This just looks like it's ready for battle, especially with the huge ass cannons on his shoulders. Just look very imposing, and with the additional guns on his hands and just the overall bulkiness of him, this is one pretty intimidating Optimus Prime. Although you kind of had to turn his forearms around to get any kind of real shoulder movement out of them. He does have finger articulation now, but just barely. But you still have the same problem with the legs, where you kind of have to bend them out slightly, or else you'll have a gangster lean. But he doesn't really have he's very evenly distributed with his weight, so he doesn't feel top heavy at all. So this is my favorite of the combination modes. In conclusion, I do believe that Wing Saber here is one of the best Transformers to come out in the Energon line. Sure, Energon had its surefire disappointments, and if you're really into articulation, he may be a disappointment for you, but I think well more than makes up for it in playability, as far as a very unique jet mode and just a couple really great looking combination modes for your Energon Optimus. And I do recommend them if you don't have them. Until next time, thank you for watching.